Hey there, it's Annmarie Miles from the Words, Wobbles and Wisdom podcast, and this is another episode of Come Bake With Me. We are going to make some peanut butter brownies, but before we start, the eggs in this recipe must be room temperature. So if you keep your eggs in the fridge, go take them out now. Go now. First thing, take them out. Take two eggs out of the fridge, which I did a while ago. So apart from our 2 eggs, which need to be at room temperature, and I'll tell you why in a minute, we have a cup of ground almonds to keep them low carb. We have 1/3 of a cup of cocoa powder. We have half a cup of sweetener. The original recipe I followed said a full cup, but that's too sweet for me. If you need more sweetener, if you like things very, very sweet, I just think with the peanut butter and the chocolate and all this stuff. And half a cup of soft, smooth peanut butter, not the crunchy type. Now this is 1/3 of a cup of coconut oil melted. That's why the eggs need to be room temperature. If cold eggs hit this coconut oil, they'll make it go hard again, and it'll be really hard to mix the mixture. The other thing that's in the recipe are dark chocolate chips. What I do is I get a bar of 85% dark chocolate, and I get my rolling pin and I bash 7 bells. It just keeps it cheaper. Bags of chocolate chips can be quite expensive, and as they're going to be melting into the mixture anyway, what do we need? So we're going to put everything in except for the peanut butter and the bits of chocolate. Okay, so we've got our almond flour, 1 cup of almond flour. We've got our half a cup of sweetener. Like I say, add some more if you like a really, really sweet taste. We've got our 1/3 of a cup of cocoa. We've got our coconut oil, which is at room temperature. I'm just going to give it a little mix. Let me know if you baked the bread in my other video. Let me know if you baked that. I'd love to hear if you baked that. It really is lovely bread, the brown spelt bread I did in my last video. So we're going to throw in our coconut oil, and we're going to throw in our room temperature. Our room temperature. I'm going to stand up for a sec. Room temperature eggs. Where's the other one? So you're probably thinking, wow, this is not a very slick presentation. It is deliberately not a slick presentation because anybody can do this stuff. Anybody can bake this stuff. You don't have to be slick. It doesn't have to be slick. It can just be good. So, mixing all of that together, I'm going to put the chocolate chips in there. Now, which is just my bar of dark chocolate that I have bashed. It's half a cup. It works out at about half the bar. So, I'm not really impressed with this whisk. This is a new whisk. I'm not very impressed with it. I'm going to go back to my old one. Yeah, that's a bit better. So it's quite sloppy. Little pinch of salt. And the other thing, which was already in the bowl, was a teaspoon of baking powder, which was already in the bowl. So I've got a square deep tin. I just put a little bit of oil on it and then some grease-proof paper. It just makes it easy to get it off. And I have the oven on at gas mark 4, which is 300 Fahrenheit and I think 180 Celsius. And these are going to take about half an hour. I'll check them after about 25 minutes. They might take 40 minutes. It really all depends. Sometimes these things just are not an exact science. Maybe they should be, but they never are when I do them. They don't need to be. They don't need to be an exact science. Okay, so it's almost like a batter. It's quite, I'm definitely better to be a wet mix than a too dry a mix. So yes, you might be thinking, hey, where's the peanut butter? That's coming. That is coming. So we spread this out into our square dish. Now, if your peanut butter is quite solid, you could warm it a little just to make it a bit more liquidy if it's quite a set peanut butter. But this, the creamier the better. But this is nice and creamy, so I'm not going to bother warming this. So I basically put 1 dollop in each corner of the batter. You can see what I'm doing, can't you? Yeah, pretty much. I'll move the camera now in a sec before I mix it in. Yes, I'm quite happy for you to vote this the worst cooking podcast or cooking YouTube channel if you want to. But what I'm trying to do is just say, listen, it doesn't have to be slick. It doesn't have to be easy. Sorry, it doesn't have to be slick. It can just be easy. You know, you can just whack all this stuff into a bowl and bake some really nice, tasty stuff that doesn't have too much sugar and doesn't have too many carbs, and it's good for us, you know. Okay, so what I need now is a knife. And I'm going to just make sure that you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just swirling the peanut butter in to the mix. Swirly swirl. Doesn't look very swirly, but it'll be swirly inside. So there we go. Just swirling it, mixing it. Okay. Now the last time I saw this done, there was much more peanut butter on the top. Maybe I haven't used enough, but the peanut butter is swirled in the middle of it. That's all that matters, isn't it? So like I say, it's going to go into the oven for about half an hour, maybe 40 minutes. It all depends really on how hot your oven is. Is it, what's the word I'm looking for? You know the word I'm looking for, don't you? One of those ovens. And so yeah, about a half an hour. And then, so I'll stop the video now and we'll have a look at them when they're done. I'm excited. Listen, 10 minutes and this stuff is ready to go in the oven. A few minutes to put the stuff in the bowls because you didn't need to see me weighing stuff out. But I hope that you see that this stuff is easy. This stuff is really easy and manageable to do. So I'll see you afterwards when these babies are cooked. Hey there, so they were in the oven for about 40 minutes. Yeah, 40 minutes. I took them out about 20 minutes ago, let them cool, and started cutting them and then forgot to press record. So here they are. They're looking good. Whoops. There we go. A bit of swirly around there. I've taken one out of the middle just to see how the swirl goes through it. Very, very, very nice. Very luscious. Yum, yum, yum. The thing about almond flour is really you should totally let it cool down before you touch it. So that's why I let it cool down for about 20 minutes, but I won't touch them again now. I'll freeze half of them and I'll put the other half in the fridge and enjoy them with coffee. That's all from the Words, Wobbles and Wisdom Come Bake With Me channel. I will be back with some Christmas treats soon. Do subscribe and come and join me on the Words, Wobbles and Wisdom podcast. Thanks. It's Annmarie Miles signing off. Bye-bye.